Let me tell you, I didn't come from a world where doors just swung open when I walked up. So when I got that invitation to the Haro Vestitia, place people whisper about like it's royalty, with money that's been old since the Civil War, he knew I'd be walking into a room that wasn't built for me. But I'd been through plenty, you know what I mean? I put on my best Navy suit, the one that says, I mean business, but I'm still me, and drove up that long, winding driveway with my head held high. After all, I was there to close a $500 million deal, not beg for a seat at anyone's table. The house looked like a palace crystal chandeliers, art that probably cost more than my first round of funding, staff lined up so straight you'd think they were auditioning for the Secret Service. But the real tension didn't hit until I stepped into the ballroom. You could feel it whispers snaking around the room, a couple raised eyebrows, and that feeling deep in your gut that says they see you but not the way you want to be seen. There was a woman in pearls looked me up and down, didn't even bother to hide her smirk. And then came Charles Harrove Jr., the golden boy. In front of everyone, he raised his glass, gave me a look that stung more than anything he could say, then fired off. Did someone let the help in early? The room didn't know what to Donovan laughter, some folks looking anywhere but at me, and not a soul stepped up. Not his father, not the family lawyer, nobody. I'll admit, my cheeks burned for a second. But I smiled, as if I didn't hear a thing, excused myself, and left before dessert even hit the table. Because if you're not at the table as an equal, you're on the menu. Yeah, that happened. Word got out fast, as it always does in circles where power and pride are the currency. Some called it a misunderstanding. Some said maybe I was too sensitive, but most just shrugged it off. $500 million is $500 million, right? But they didn't know me. They didn't know what it costs to swallow your pride so many times that one day you just can't do it anymore. The Haroves sent a boilerplate apology through their lawyers, of course. No phone call. No real attempt to make it right. Maybe they thought I'd cool off, that I'd come crawling back because the money was too good. Instead, I sat in my office, surrounded by contracts and numbers and the silence of people waiting to see what I'd do. I didn't pick up the phone to call them. I picked it up to call my board. We're done, I said. No explanations, no second-guessing. I reviewed every clause, made sure we could walk away clean. And then I scheduled a press conference not to air my pain, but to stand for something bigger. That day, standing at the podium, I wore a cream blazer, nothing flashy but strong. Cameras were everywhere. I spoke from my gut. When dignity is denied, no amount of money can justify silence. I said we were withdrawing from the partnership, effective immediately. The room exploded. Analysts shouted questions. Reporters asked if I was out of my mind. But they didn't know what I knew, that my company was already on the radar of two other firms that saw value, not just color, partners who wanted progress, not just profit. That night, a video clip surfaced leaked. I heard, by a young waiter who'd seen the whole thing go down. You could see the look on Charles Jr.'s face, the awkward shifting of the room, my quiet exit. The internet took it and ran. Respect as priceless trended before I even woke up the next day. Investors bailed on Harrove. Their stock took a nosedive 18% in a day. Social media started boycotts. Celebrities chimed in. People I'd never met sent messages thanking me for standing up for what was right. Back behind those iron gates, the Harroves scrambled. Charles Sr. did a TV apology looked more like a hostage video than an act of remorse. Charles Jr. suspended from the board. The golden boy wasn't looking so golden anymore. Meanwhile, my inbox blew up. Over a dozen partnership offers came in, this time from companies who didn't need to be told that respect wasn't optional. I didn't gloat. I didn't clap back. I just got back to work, letting my actions speak louder than any words. Because sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all, just walking away when everyone expects you to stay. A couple weeks later, I got invited to speak at a global leadership summit. Room full of suits, people who thought they'd seen everything. My talk, The Cost of Dignity. I didn't have to name names. Everyone knew the story. And when I said, respect is the true currency in business, you could hear a pin drop. I won't pretend it was easy. Walking away from that deal hurt, but it healed something deeper. For every young woman watching, especially women of color, I became proof that you don't have to cash in your pride to make it. That it's possible to say no, Evan, when the world tells you to say yes and still come out ahead. Funny thing, one of the new partners who reached out was a woman who'd started her company after being pushed out of a boys' club herself. We met for coffee. She said, "You're not just changing the Relesierie, changing the whole game." That stuck with me. And somewhere, in a cold, quiet boardroom, the Heroes watched their empire shrink. Not because of some hostile takeover, not because of scandal, but because a single woman decided her worth wasn't up for debate. All it took was one word, said with grace, but carrying more weight than $500 million. No. Now let me throw it back to you. What would you have done? Is there a price where you'd swallow your pride? Or does respect always come first? Tell me your thoughts below, because stories like this aren't just about business theory, about the kind of world we want to build. And if you think respect is still priceless, let's hear your voice.